Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back. Are you so excited to be here? I'm excited to be here.
We could literally watch Kristen chain smoke cigarettes for freaking hours.
If you're new here, hi, my name's Sam. I'm a pop culture reality TV commentary channel, and I like to just chill and talk with you like we're just two BFFs chit chatting in front of the TV about our favorite shows and pop culture moments. And right now, the biggest pop culture moment in my life right now is Vanderpump Rules is back. Now, if you haven't watched my first 3 videos, shame on you. You need to go watch them right now. Go watch them and come back to this video or finish this video and then go back and watch the other 3 videos. I think that'd be great. Like, subscribe, share, ring the little bell. Do it all. Okay? Do it all. So, season 11 just dropped. Okay? I'm recording this on Thursday and it dropped on Tuesday. And people have a lot of thoughts, a lot of opinions. I've watched a lot of content about what people thought about the whole season. And I think overall, no one seems to be super disappointed or super upset about it. I think everybody's on the same page that this is going to be a very different type of season. I think Lisa Vanderpump said it on the Kelly Clarkson show. Like, this season's energy is just going to be so not what we're used to. And I don't necessarily think in like a bad way. I think it just is kind of like the circumstances that we got going on right now. And that the show is really focusing on the women this year versus I think the show just always seemed to be about the dudes. And then it was so much about Tom and Tom because of Tom and then Schwartz and Sandy's and blah, 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 blah. And now it's like, finally, we can focus on the real heroes of this story, which is Katie and Ariana and how their lives have come full circle. And there's just so much difference in who a lot of these people are now, and I see so much growth in all of them except for the Toms. Tom Schwartz has a little bit of growth. He's a little bit there, but I would say Tom Sandoval has grown 0%, I believe, at this point. I also watched the Vile Files with the Toms, so I will be talking about that in between this because some things that he says that Tom says compared to the show, it's just like contradictory and stupid. I also watched clips of the after show that they have where they talk about a bunch of stuff. And Tom Sandoval, again, I think he thinks the world truly revolves around him. Like, he is, like, I feel like when you talk about people that are narcissists, that they're like, I don't know why for me, but when I think of a narcissist, I think of someone that is smart and is good at manipulating you. But he is like a dummy narcissist. He's just, he's so stupid. I wish he was good at being a narcissist because he's not good at lying. And he doesn't realize how dumb he sounds and how contradictory he sounds and that he's full blown lying to people. He doesn't get that. Like, I was watching the Vile Files and he's sitting there looking at Nick and his fiance, trying to convince them that Nick was like 2 hours late when he was on Tom's podcast. And they pull up text messages and stuff, and it's no, he wasn't late to your podcast, Tom. And the funny thing to me was Nick, when they were talking about this, he wanted to end it. And he was like, and I think that you believe that, Tom. I think that you believe that I was late. I was like, Nick, you're good for that one. I have a love-hate relationship with Nick Viall. Okay. Sometimes I love him. Sometimes I think he sucks. The whole thing with Scheana right now, I think the whole thing with Scheana right now is really, really stupid. And I wish Nick would get over it. And I wish Nick would have Scheana on the show and maybe they could hash it out because I don't know. I have a hard time with when Nick is mad. When Nick is mad at somebody, he can kind of be vicious. I'm not gonna lie. He's not the easiest guy. But I also think that it makes him a very good interviewer because he doesn't let up on the gas. He really goes for it. He asks really good questions, very pointed questions. He doesn't attack in the way that his tone is. It's very monotone, very relaxed. relaxed. He doesn't get intense. He's a very good interviewer, a very good interviewer. So let's get into the actual season 11 of it all. Looking at the house situation, number one, why do they still have a picture, a giant painting of themselves on the wall? Why is that? I would have gotten that picture and slammed it into the floor. I would have lit it on fire. I would have taken black paint and smeared it all over it. I would have taken black or white paint and painted the frame, like painted the whole canvas, and then like redid something over it. Why do you have that in your house still with the two of you living there? It's really, really, that was really weird to me. I was just like, what's going on? What are we doing here? Why is it still in the home? So weird. Also, their bedrooms are so messy. And I know that they're both living basically out of their bedrooms. You know, they have the house and it's their house, but at the same time, they're living in and out of their bedrooms. I'm assuming that Ariana and Tom both have refrigerators in there. They both have, I'm assuming, a bathroom of their own. So I don't know. And apparently Billy Lee is living there now. I can't stand Billy Lee. I can't stand Billy Lee. Okay? I love the LGBTQIA community, so it has nothing to do with that. I just can't stand her. She is awful. She is a flop. She was such a flop. It sucks. I really wanted Billy Lee to work, you guys, because let me tell you right now, your show is based in West Hollywood. And the fact that none of the cast is like, it's like, yeah, okay, Lala and Ariana are bisexual. Yep. Why don't we have a gay man on this show? I will never understand. Some might say Tom Sandoval is that gay man, but I don't. So I think Nick asked if Tom and Tom ever had a threesome together. I was like, oh my God, stop. I really like the new intro. I like that it's centered and started with the girls. So I really, really, really enjoyed that aspect. I love that it's not focusing on the men as much. I also heard tea from the internets that apparently the owner of Schwartz and Sandy's, what's his name? I forgot his name. Comment below what his name is. He apparently would not let Vanderpump Rules and production film at Schwartz and Sandy's. He was like, absolutely not. We're not filming here. So that's why they didn't have the intro as Schwartz and Sandy's. They had the intro at Tom Tom, which I thought was so interesting. I'm like, so we're not going to see any of Schwartz and Sandy's. We're not going to go in it. We're not going to be around it. We're not even going to acknowledge it. Like, what's that about? Which was, in my opinion, extremely disappointing because Schwartz talks about it at the beginning of the show about how he's talking to James and he's talking about how the name was a really big issue in him and Tom's relationship and him and Katie's relationship. And Katie had really good ideas and nobody would listen to her. And Katie's very smart. Okay. Katie is very smart. And you know what? Tom Schwartz is really smart. He really is, but he's also really dumb. Dumb in the sense of, why are you defending this worm of a person? I don't understand that. Why are you defending Tom Sandoval? And why are you letting Tom Sandoval be so rude to your wife? What is wrong with you? Ex-wife now, obviously, for multiple reasons. But Schwartz was talking about how with James in this episode about, that was a big thing about naming the restaurant Schwartz and Sandy's. And that when you name it with your name on it, it means more and you have to really live up to the standards of, the name and the restaurant and all that. And he completely screwed them over. Tom Sandoval was going to die on the hill of Schwartz and Sandy's, die on that hill. And he did. And look what happened. Apparently, the restaurant, it was so bad. People would come into the restaurant, always looking for, him or Sandoval, asking questions, looking for like clues and like being complete assholes, I guess. And it really, really sucks because the staff has nothing to do with that. Like Schwartz and Sandy's staff have nothing to do with that. And to put people's, like to make people's lives a living hell at that restaurant, servers, cooks, bartenders, whatever, a living hell because of these two dopes is not very fair. You know, people got to make a living. People got to pay the rent. Okay. So we shouldn't be doing that to people. We need to stop that crap. Okay. Go stand outside of like his house or something. Don't, like, what are we doing here? The thing that's weird to me about the house situation is that I think traditionally, when you are the person that fucked up the most, you leave the house. And so I don't understand why Tom Sandoval was not like, yep, I messed up. I'll go find another place. It's not a big deal. We'll figure it. We'll figure it out. You know, he was so used to when Kristen and him broke up, Kristen moved out. It's like, okay, in that situation, Kristen really fucked up. So Kristen left. Why do you get to stay? I think he said in the after show the reason why he stayed and wanted to stay in the house is because he knew all the bills were going to come out of his account, and that if he moved, that Ariana would keep letting the bills come out of his account and not her account. And he didn't want that. And I'm just like, I have a hard time believing that. I have a hard time believing that Ariana would financially screw you over so hard like that. That's different. That's different than screwing you over emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Screwing each other over financially is really sick. And I just don't see Ariana doing that. And I don't understand. And I agree with Ariana when she's talking to Katie. She said, you know, he wants to buy me out. And Katie's like, okay, if he wants to buy you out so bad, he must have the money to find a new place. So why can't he give you the house and then he can go find a new place? I completely agree with that. I don't understand. What is such a big deal about this house? The issue is that he knows he cannot buy a house like that house that he has. He cannot find a house and pay for it on his own. Might I also add, he could not buy a house without Ariana. Let's be for real right now. You know for a fact, okay? You know for a fact, I know this. Group think tank here. You know for a fact that if he was on his own, if he was with Schwartz, if he was still hanging out with Jax, if he would have been with Kristen, he would have never gotten a home. Ever. I bet you that man doesn't even know how to do a spreadsheet. Okay. That's just my opinion. Facts? No. Opinion? Yes. In my opinion, this man doesn't even know how to do a spreadsheet. He doesn't even know that Control C is copy and Control V is paste. But that's just my opinion. We talk about the Tom and Rachel sending mail back and forth to each other and then sending a postcard from Arizona. Now, apparently, so Anne, Tom's assistant, well, now not assistant, apparently she quit, which good for Anne. Apparently Rachel was sending mail to Schwartz. And then Schwartz was like, I can't do this anymore. I don't want to be a part of this. Leave me out of this. I don't want to be a part of this. So Sandoval said, that's fine. I'll have it mailed to the house. I'll just have Anne grab it before Ariana can see it. Not a big deal. And what would happen is on the weekends, Anne didn't work on the weekends, and she wouldn't be able to get the mail. So Ariana would be up early in the morning because according to Anne, Ariana's a very busy person, was always going around doing stuff, had things to do. And Ariana would come down, check the mail. Sure enough, there would be shit from Rachel there. And Ariana would see it and was like, you have to be literally kidding me right now. This is ridiculous. So they were still communicating to each other, which is ridiculously annoying. The hook that Tom Sandoval had on Rachel for a long time, and I really hope that he doesn't have that hook on her anymore. It doesn't seem like it from the clips I keep seeing from her podcast. It doesn't seem to be that he has that power over her anymore. And according to her, Rachel, it doesn't seem as if they communicate anymore either. So it's really sad to me that happened. And it also frustrates me that Sandoval continued to put Schwartz in a situation, whether Schwartz agreed to it or not. It's still like take that part out of it. It's still insane to me that Sandoval thought it was okay to put Schwartz in a situation of, oh, just send the mail to Schwartz's apartment. You're sick and demented and gross. Sick, demented, and gross for doing that. That was gross and weird. Why? So we get a clip about Scheana trying to communicate with Sandoval and making sure that he was okay because his childhood friend, a mutual friend of all of them, had passed away. So Scheana wanted to make sure that Sandoval was okay. I will say this. I do agree with Sandoval in the aspect of when he was talking about on the after show that it was really weird and uncomfortable, and he hated that Scheana was reaching out to him after Scheana was on her podcast saying, interviewing everybody and a bunch of stuff about the situation. So I do agree with him that, Scheana, you can't go on podcasts talking about Scandoval and capitalizing off of it. And then the next second turn around and be like, hey, Sandoval, are you okay? I'm so sorry about your friend who passed away. You do kind of have to pick a lane at some point. That's my issue with Scheana, is she's such a flip-flopper and she has so much blind loyalty to men. It's kind of crazy. I think that she has found a way to have that type of loyalty with Lala, which I appreciate and I like. And I hope that she continues that. It seems like her and Katie are in a good place. I really want Scheana to start realizing that the girls in the group are so intelligent, so smart, have so much power. And aligning with the women in the group is so much more beneficial as a person, as a friend, as a mother, as anybody. It's so much better to align with the women in the group than it is with these demon men. Okay? These demon, crawly, crusty men. So if you guys know anything about me, you know that I'm a Lala apologist. And I'm not sorry for it. Okay? I love Lala. Give me Lala. I really think that when Vanderpump Rules is done, Lala should consider having her own show. Even if Ocean can't be involved in it in any way, because, Randall's a demon. Even if Ocean cannot be involved in it, I still think she should have a show because I like her family. I like their dynamic. I like their relationship. I like their family. I just think that they're a great little group. And I think that they could have a fun show that's maybe a little bit more lighthearted. It's not as drama filled or dark. It's just like a day in the life and it could be really fun. Maybe Lala should consider doing what Scheana does and doing vlogs and having someone vlog them all the time and just see where that goes. I don't know. But I think that would be very interesting. And it would be nice to just see a show that, again, maybe a little bit more lighthearted. Maybe don't even give her an hour-long show. Give her a half an hour show on Bravo and just see how it goes. I think it could be really just like a breath of fresh air. And then obviously call the show Give Them Lala. Duh. Maybe go into her, she's going to go through IUI right now. You could talk about her, that journey. Obviously, you could talk about her and Randall's journey. You could talk, oh my God, I would love to see an interview with Lala and Randall's other ex, baby mama. I would love to see the two of them talking about Randall. I can't even imagine the things that they have talked about and the things that they have seen as a collective. I hate that Lala is in such a predicament with Randall. Like one thing that okay, so here we go. I'm going to be a Lala apologist right now. And I'm sorry, but I'm like not sorry. I don't care. I love Lala. I think Lala's great. I think Lala's had a really big arc. Her and James have grown up so much compared to when they first showed up. When they first showed up, wildly different people. They are not the same people. They value a lot of different things. They have better, I think, dynamics in their life with other people. I love Allie for James. I think Allie's literally perfection. I love her so much. I think she's so great for him. And I think he's great for her too. Like, I think she's fun and cute and, has a lot of fun, but I think he kind of brings a little excitement to her life. And I think that she brings a sense of calm in his life. And I think that he takes her seriously. He values her. He values her words. Do I think that he's, still has his little moments? Yeah, I do. I think he can, be a little spicy with his words. But I think overall, they're very good for each other. So back to apologizing for Lala. Okay, so here's my Lala apologist moment here. So when people are comparing Lala talking to Rachel to Lala saying that people couldn't talk to Randall, here's what I need everybody to start understanding is number one, do I like the intentions of Lala talking to Rachel? Yes, I do. Because James and Lala, and James brings it up with Schwartz, those two have been booted out of the group, have had horrible things said about them, and I don't think James wants that to happen to other people. James doesn't want that to happen to Schwartz, and Lala doesn't want that to happen to Rachel. Maybe we're not all friends, but I don't want people to treat you the way that they treated me when I was at my lowest. And I appreciate that about James and Lala. I really, really do. And the difference between talking to Rachel and talking to Randall is Rachel's not a threat. Rachel doesn't have astronomical amounts of money to do horrible things to you. Rachel's not in a custody battle for a child. Randall is a powerful person. He is an evil person. He has a lot of money, has done allegedly a lot of bad things, allegedly. And he has allegedly put Lala in very bad situations and has a bad history. Allegedly. So for me, it's not comparable in that sense of like these two people are vastly different. The reason why Lala doesn't want any of you to talk to Randall is because she's in a custody battle. There's legal involved. And also, Randall is the type of person that would befriend one of them and use it against Lala because that's the type of guy he is, allegedly for entertainment purposes, only allegedly. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the biggest difference for me. Let's start there. What I wish Lala would have done is I wish Lala would have had the conversation that she had with the other three women. I wish she would have had that before contacting Rachel and had said to Ariana, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. Here's my reasoning why. I'm not trying to be friends with her. I'm not trying to have her back, but I am scared because I know what happened to me when I got all that blowback. And this is where my mental health was. And I know she did something bad. I know she messed up. I know we were all very mean to her, myself included. But I don't want her to go to a dark place because I've been there and I don't want other people to feel that way. And I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to be controlled by a man and you think you're smart. You think you're this badass bitch, but you don't realize that this man has taken over your life and taken over your brain and your sensibility, and you almost don't know who you are anymore. So I understand where she's coming from, but I wish she would have talked to Ariana first and then reached out to Rachel. But I think what she was trying to do was she would rather ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. So do I think she went about that the wrong way? Yeah, I do. And that's just the thing. I'm not a Lala apologist to the point that I don't have brain cells and I don't see things that I think she can improve on or get better at or change. I think Lala's just in this moment right now and I think a lot of victims of situations feel this way. Because I know when I was getting divorced, I remember that I saw a lot of bad things in my friends' partners. I saw a lot of red flags in my head. They weren't a lot of red flags. And I was like, oh my God, look at this, look at that. Oh my goodness. And I'm like, oh, well, that's because you just broke up with someone and you want to save everybody from the heartbreak that you went through. And it can't always be that way, unfortunately. You have to let people do their own thing in their own time. And I think Katie brought up a good point of, Lala, your feelings are valid, but these are two different situations. What you went through and what Ariana went through are two different situations. Let that situation be its own thing and let your situation be its own thing. You can't hit copy paste with these scenarios because that's not fair. And I agree with Katie. Katie's freaking smart, okay? Katie's, in my opinion, one of the smartest women in this group. And she calls it like it flippin' is. And she's been calling these mother truckers out left and right for years. And I'm proud of her because she got a lot of flack for that. She got so much crap from so many people, myself included, okay, about how she was mean and grumpy and awful and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, wouldn't you be mean and grumpy and awful if you were in a relationship with these losers? You would be too. I think that James is 1000% right that Tom Schwartz is his best Tom when he's not with Tom Sandoval. When he's with Tom Sandoval, he sucks. And one thing that I've said many times, I believe, is that the reason why we're seeing how awful Tom Sandoval truly is because he doesn't have Ariana to filter him out anymore. And Schwartz isn't really a good filterer. If you look at reunions, Sandoval would get in these, verbal tussles with people and, get all angry and, upset, blah, 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 blah. And you would see glimpses of him starting to act a little ridiculous. But then all of a sudden, Ariana would come in and kind of almost translate for him and tell the other cast or tell Andy or Lisa, oh no, this is what he means. And this is what we're talking about. And see it from this point of view. And everybody kind of got a filtered version of him because of her. And now Schwartz is kind of that person, but he's not as good as she was. And he also, there's times where it looks like Schwartz is on purpose not saying anything, like letting his friend just eat shit, just letting his friend eat complete shit. That's what it does look like sometimes. When I'm watching them on the after show and on Nick Viall's podcast, I'm sitting there thinking, wow, why is Schwartz just sitting in there and letting him talk? But then he would interrupt on other things and say, oh, I don't think this is what you meant. I think you meant to say this. And Sandoval's like, yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. He doesn't have his own thoughts. He doesn't have his own feelings. He doesn't even know where I think he is half the time. This whole, I was sober for 4 months and now I'm not and I'm doing great. Clearly you're not. You're showing up for Nick Viall's podcast an hour late. You don't know anything. You don't know why you regret what you did. You don't understand why Ariana's upset with you. Every time Nick asks you a question, you're aggressive, rude, and mean. You say bro, like 700 times. What are we doing? What's going on? What's going on? What is crazy to me is that one of the things that cracks me up is we had to watch Tom Sandoval and Tom Schwartz do construction demos, bitch about the bar, make cocktails in Schwartz's apartment, go to Nick Elaine's showroom in Las Vegas, look at lights while they were half hungover and drunk. But we can't see Katie and Ariana picking out teacups. We can't see them getting sandwiches ready. Are we going to get that? Are we going to get that more eventually? How come I have to watch those nincompoops do the dumbest things, but I can't watch these two smart women, business women, okay, on the job? Why can't I see that? I don't get it. I don't understand why I couldn't see that. They show them sipping little teacups talking about a shot, and it's like, that's it. Then why did you even talk to them about go to the thrift store to go to get teacups? Why did you even talk about it? You shouldn't have even talked about it. You shouldn't have even brought it up. You didn't even show us it. What was the point of that? I don't want to see anything to do with the restaurants with the boys. I don't care anymore. I'm de-invested in these stupid man restaurants. I don't care anymore. I'll go over to the valley and go watch Jax try to glue together some sticks to make a bar. I'd rather do that. And Brittany make her bigger cheese. Okay. We are going to watch the valley, you guys. It's going to happen. I love Ariana so much for blocking Schwartz. I love that when he went on Watch What Happens Live and he kind of defended Sandoval and said, give him a hug. Give him a hug. If you see him in the street, even if you hate him, give him a hug. Sir, no. I'm not giving him a hug. He'll be lucky if I just pass by him with a dirty look. Okay. I'm not giving him a hug. You're sick. And she apparently sent him a nasty text message. And she was like, I don't think it was that bad. And then she basically told Schwartz like she hates him and, I'm blocking you, and says, go choke on Sandoval's dirty ass dick. One of two things. Either Sandoval has a dirty ass dick, or Because if you remember in season 3 with Miami Girl, she had talked about what his D looked like. And apparently it's small and shaven. So I think that he manscapes it to the point that it's like super clean, squeaky clean, can eat off of it clean. You know what I'm saying? That type of clean. Like that type of clean. Those are the two options. Skankety, skankety, scoopity, or manscape to hell. Because we know Tom Sandoval loves to manscape. So disgusting. Remember when he used to shave his head? That was like a big thing at the beginning of Vanderpump Rules, is him manscaping, shaving his head, flat ironing his hair, that whole thing. That was a big deal for him. They talked about, Lala had brought up, and Scheana did a little bit too, about Ariana rushing into this relationship with her new boyfriend, Dan, because they had met at a wedding like a week or so or something like that after everything happened. And they just started talking and hanging out and they just really liked each other. And now they're in a long distance relationship. I'm pretty sure she's living with him right now while she's in New York. Is that the vibe we're getting? I would assume she's living with him. Maybe she's not. I thought she might be, but she's with him all the time now because he lives in New York. And I didn't know that he was a bartender and a trainer. I didn't know that, which is very interesting. But he seems like a really nice guy. And to defend Ariana, when I broke up with my first husband, we officially separated. We weren't divorced yet, but we separated. And then a month later, I was talking to my ex-husband and he was like, yeah, I'm going to start going on dating apps. And I was like, okay, I will too then. Like, if you're going to, I'm going to. Cool. Sounds great. And I went on a dating app and like a week or two later, met my current husband. And for me, the breakup was sad, but it wasn't sad because to be frank, it wasn't sad because of him. It was sad because we had a child together and I wanted to keep our family together, but I knew that that wasn't the right choice for our family. So that was sad. And I had to start my life over again. That was the sad part, not the being in the relationship. And then I think my ex-husband and I both knew that we're headed for that department. If we look back now, for like a year, maybe 2 years, we knew that that's where we were headed. It just was what it was. And so it doesn't surprise me always when people get into a new relationship, because you almost look back and you're like, we've been out of my last relationship for longer than a day. It didn't just happen overnight. We didn't just break up in 2 seconds. It's been coming down to this for a while. So you kind of feel almost as if you have been single for a while. You've been alone for a while. You've been sad for a while, and I don't want to feel this way anymore. So it doesn't feel like you're jumping into it. I can see how she feels that way. And I think he's great from what we can tell. He seems really nice. We might see otherwise, but he seems to be very supportive. Him and Brock seem to be on the same wavelength of, we love our women, we support them, we're there for them, everything that they do, we're there for. I have my thing, she has her thing, but I am her biggest cheerleader. And that's why I personally have always loved Brock. From the very beginning, I've always loved Brock. And until he shows me a reason to not love him, I'm going to keep just absolutely adoring Brock. I think he is absolutely perfect for Scheana. I think him being the biggest cheerleader and supporter and wanting the best out of everything for Scheana and and being such a great dad, I think that there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's just weird it's not norm. The norm is the man makes the money, the man goes out and does blah, 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 blah. But Scheana is that person. And I think Scheana loves being in the spotlight, loves being that person. And he loves that she is that person. He's totally fine with that. And he supports the crap out of her. And I think that Dan gives that vibe too. I think Dan is probably totally fine with being a bartender. He's probably totally fine being a trainer. He thinks that life is great and he keeps living it. And then just whatever Ariana does, he's there. He was at Dancing with the Stars. He was at Chicago. I'm sure he's going to go to 1 million showings of that show and have the best time. And she deserves that, because Tom Sandoval was never her cheerleader. She was his, and whatever she wanted to do, he had to be involved in it. Like the cocktail book, and then he wanted to do the restaurants. He wanted to do Schwartz and Sandy's, and it was just, she's along for the ride. It was really sad watching Katie and Ariana walk up to Tom Tom, knowing that when they first walked up to Tom Tom, they were so excited and they were so proud of the Toms and supportive, and they were crying and they were so happy and like, this is incredible, so on and so forth. And then to walk into it and you're both not with your partners anymore, rolling up to their restaurant, knowing that it means nothing to you anymore, the same way it used to, is got to be really, really hard. You saw Ariana, get a little teary eyed. And I'm pretty sure Katie had a similar experience. Like, what was it, last season maybe? Or this season? So I think it may have been last season. And it's really, really sad because these men went after their dreams and basically ignored their partners, ignored Katie, ignored Ariana, and picked the restaurants over them and picked this Hollywood lifestyle over two women that loved and supported them and was there for them. And it's really, 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 really sad. But these women are better off. Katie and Ariana are just so much better off without these two people. The things that have happened for them since this situation happened, it's just a weight has been lifted since the two of them are no longer associated with dummy one and dummy two. It's great. And what are Tom and Tom doing? Nothing. You want to know why? Because they don't have Katie and Ariana to push them and to get them to do things. They don't have that anymore. It's great. I love it. I hate that Tom Schwartz wants to talk to Ariana so bad and be friends with Ariana so bad. Why the hell would she want to be friends with you? You helped hide this affair when you could have told somebody. You could have told Katie. Katie could have told Ariana, and we could have fixed this immediately. But no, you were like this secret love nest. I had so much going on in my life. This was going on, this was going on. But in none of those 7+ months, did you think, I should probably say something to somebody? I can't keep this a secret. Like, this is really bad. I'm friends with Ariana. This is really bad. No, you thought, let me keep helping him hide it. And then on top of that, let me kiss Rachel and give the idea to people that I want to date her. You're sick. I need Schwartz to just stop being like, oh, I'm not Tom Sandoval. Everybody associates me with him. I'm not Tom Sandoval. I'm my own person. I'm not the one that did all these bad things. You helped. So why can't you just admit that? Why can't you just say, I really messed up. I associated myself with a bad person and I shouldn't have done that. Why do you keep aligning with this person? Why do you keep doing interviews with him? Why do you keep associating yourself with him? Stop. Stop being friends with him. And then maybe Ariana could forgive you. If you actually started to understand and realize that what you did was messed up and what you helped your best friend do is messed up and gross. You were making out with Rachel, your best friend's mistress, while they were banging each other and trying to hide away from Ariana at Scheana's wedding. I'm sorry. No, I wouldn't want to be friends with you either. I would not want to even look at you because you're just as bad as they were. Because you lied to me, you snuck around with them, and you're sick for making out with her, full well knowing that her and Sandoval were going to go bone later. You're gross. They're disgusting. Tom and Tom are disgusting. They're really gross. We got to see Logan. I didn't realize that Logan was a manager at Tom Tom, which is kind of crazy because isn't Logan like not Lala's Logan? This is Ariana's Logan, I believe. There's two Logans, not the James Logan, different one. Isn't he best friends with Ariana? That must be really, really weird that he is a manager at Tom Tom, but also is best friends with Ariana. That must be really, really, really weird and icky. Because I'm pretty sure he went to the opening of Chicago with them. I believe so. And then seeing Jesse come too. Because isn't Jesse hanging out with Schwartz a lot too? I'm pretty sure I've seen a bunch of videos of Jesse hanging out with, Sandoval. Hanging out with Sandoval and like Billy Lee and stuff. So isn't he a part of Sandoval's little crew? It's just weird. And the fact that Jesse still works at Sir is also really weird and funny. So the last thing I will say is we finally get a little bit of an open door into the different types of kind of manipulation Sandoval did to Ariana. One of those things being that the reason why Ariana wasn't friends with Katie or didn't attempt to be friends with Katie was because of Sandoval, because Sandoval said such horrible things about her and was like, be careful, you know, Katie, be careful. And if Ariana and Katie would have been friends, I think a while ago, that would have made a really big difference in the dynamic of that group. And I think they would have puzzle pieced a lot more together if they were closer. And I think getting the sandwich shop together really helped with Katie kind of finding out how to move on from the situation. I just wish that Ariana wouldn't have listened to Tom, because Tom hated Katie because Katie took Tom's Schwartz away from Tom Sandoval and would tell Tom Schwartz all the time that Tom Sandoval is dead weight. And we all know that Tom and Tom are each other's ride or dies. And when Schwartz in season 9, I believe it was, stepped away from Sandoval for a little bit and spent more time with Katie, I was like, finally, he gets it. He gets that this man is dead weight to him and that he really needs to stick with his wife. And then Katie just realized, like, you're always going to pick Tom Sandoval over me. You're always going to pick the restaurant over me. You're going to pick everybody in the world over me. But I was here, I'm loyal, and I loved you. And that's really, really sad, really, really depressing, and really, really sad. And I hate that Ariana and Katie could not find a friendship because of those dipshits. It really took them not being with those idiots for them to finally realize that they are so much better off. They're so smart, they're so brilliant, they're so wonderful, they're so talented, and they don't need dead weight around to be happy and to live their life. Also, I really hope that Katie eventually, when she does settle down, dates a woman. I would love that for Katie if Katie dated a woman. We also made this entire episode pretty much without Tom Sandoval. We made the whole episode without Tom Sandoval, and I loved it. I was like, keep him away. I don't even want to see him. I don't even want to talk to him. I don't even want to look at him. He walked through the door, and I was like, get him away. I don't need him anymore. Boot him off. I don't care. We'll talk about him, but he doesn't have to be there. You know what I'm saying? So you guys let me know what you thought about this episode. Did you like it? What do you think about the upcoming season? It looks like it's going to be good. It just looks like it's going to be a little bit darker, a lot more feelings, a lot more whose side are we on? And I'm interested to see how it really seems like Tom Schwartz is going to be this middleman back and forth. And then eventually Scheana is going to kind of be a middleman back and forth. And it's really like, you guys got to pick a side kind of thing. So we'll see what happens. The dynamic of this group is very different. And it's so interesting because I feel like Lala was like Ariana's like ride or die for a couple seasons. And now, and obviously Scheana kind of always has been. But to see Katie being so close with Ariana is so interesting. We know Katie loves a power blonde as a friend. Loves a power blonde as a friend. You know, a top dog, top girl. Okay, loves a blonde. So it doesn't surprise me that she gravitates towards Ariana, because Ariana and Stassi are a lot alike, very outspoken, very powerful, very stoic women, I think, and know how to stand up for themselves for the most part. It doesn't surprise me how much, you know, Katie loves Ariana and that they got to be BFFs and they just adore each other. And I really love that for them. So I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this little conversation that we got to have together. If you love my content, go watch more of it. Go like, subscribe, ring the bell, share my content. I would love that. You can check me out on TikTok and Instagram, Mentally Growing 24/7, and we can hang out and talk more in short form content. So I love you guys, and I hope you have the best day ever, and we'll just keep watching Vanderpump Rules and eventually The Valley and just keep hanging out and talking. Bye.